Sup, you beautiful bastards? Hope you're having a fantastic Thursday. Welcome back to the Philip DeFranco Show, and let's just jump into it. And the first thing we're going to talk about today, one of the most requested stories of the day, is actually a story I didn't cover earlier this week because at that point it was just he said, she said. It's also on its face something that seems like a gossipy celeb story, but it's a lot more than that. And I'll explain. There is this show called Bachelor in Paradise. It is the bastardized spin-off of the already ridiculous Bachelor and Bachelorette series. The premise of the original series is one man or one woman, they're looking for love. Why not have 30 potential partners live in the same house and fight for that love in a series of definitely real and not fake in any way situations? And finally they find the one and they propose and they live happily ever after almost never. Well, Bachelor in Paradise takes a lot of the people that never found love and puts them together, and it's supposed to be just a drunken mess of people banging. That's not their description, that's my description. Well, production of this season had to stop, and the reasoning in the beginning was kind of light touch. It was definitely strange, but then it escalated. So let's go through that. Initially, the story breaks that this season is on hiatus. There's a photo of all the contestants at the airport. Something happened. Then ABC releases a statement saying, "We have become aware of allegations of misconduct. We are conducting a thorough investigation of these allegations." Then Reality Steve, which by the way, most of the news outlets that cover anything related to reality shows, they most of them just take from Reality Steve. Don't credit him, write the article anyway. But then Reality Steve says it's not just a hiatus. I've been told the show has been canceled. We then learn it was a producer on the set that filed a claim of misconduct, and at this point we just know that there is something that happened between two of the contestants, one named Demario and the other named Corinne. One of the first versions of the events that took place read, per source, Demario and Corinne got extremely drunk. Corinne came up to Demario at the bar and kissed him. They proceeded to the pool where they got naked. From this point forward, things turned into softcore porn. They did not have sex, but it was very raunchy. And the source claims that the allegation of misconduct came from a producer who didn't show up to work until the day after the incident. We then hear Demario's side of things. He said they were very drunk, they took their clothes off, there was rubbing, touching, and fingering, but said he couldn't engage in sexual intercourse due to the amount of alcohol he had consumed. So Corinne stuck her genitals in his face and he began licking. Then allegations came out from someone that was sourced as an anonymous crew member that yes, they were drunk, but at one point Corinne seemed to go limp, that Corinne kept sliding underwater, and Demario tried to hold her up, and at the same time he appeared to be having intercourse with her. Then after he finished, which only lasted a few seconds, he lifted her out of the water and laid her on the cement where he proceeded to have oral sex with her. And then, and I told you at the beginning of this is a lot of he said, she said, then a friend of Demario talked with the same news outlet and said the story about Corinne being limp and sliding underwater is bullshit, saying Corinne was the aggressor, that she told Demario to take off his clothes, but there was no sex because Demario could not get erect because he drank too much. And so you had these reports of people saying that Corinne was lucid, she was engaged in the moment, and then you also had new reports coming out that Corinne claimed to be blackout drunk, and that she blamed producers for not pulling the plug and protecting her, that she could not consent in that state. And one of the big notes there was she was blaming the producers and not Demario, who she also believed to be too drunk. Then the whole situation got muddied up even further. Reports came out identifying the producer that filed the complaint as Shelby Adams. And the reason people are claiming that this is muddying the water is Shelby Adams is reportedly one of Corinne's best friends. Although there has been pushback from others saying that the labeling of Shelby as a best friend doesn't make sense. That Corinne has a history of calling people that work for her friends. They only started working together when Corinne was on The Bachelor recently. And allegations are coming out that Shelby Adams filed this complaint of misconduct without seeing it live or seeing it happen on tape. And since that came out, there was a report that another producer by the name of Jessica Brown had also reported misconduct, but there are the same allegations that this complaint was filed without actually seeing it happen live or on tape. And so the question became, well, why would they file this complaint if they didn't see anything happen? Well, the narrative there was that Corinne was worried that her boyfriend, which by the way, for those that don't know, many of the girls or the people that go on this show, they have significant others off of the show. They were worried that this footage would obviously make the boyfriend angry. There's a whole monetary situation there that we could dive into. And then people close to the situation said producers, in fact, asked Corinne and Demario if this was consensual. Right after the incident, they allegedly both said yes. And then we get to one of the most recent updates. Demario and Corinne have released official statements. Her statement reading, "I am a victim and have spent the last week trying to make sense of what happened on June 4th. Although I have little memory of that night, something bad obviously took place, which I understand is why production on the show has now been suspended and a producer on the show has filed a complaint against the production. As a woman, this is my worst nightmare and it has now become my reality. As I pursue the details and facts surrounding the night and the immediate days after, I have retained a group of professionals to ensure that what happened on June 4th comes to light and I can continue my life, including hiring an attorney to obtain justice and seeking therapy to begin dealing with physical and emotional trauma stemming from that evening." It should also be noted here, on top of hiring help, Corinne also reportedly fired her publicist Liz Liz Anderson. And as far as DeMario is concerned, there were reports coming out that DeMario wants the video of what took place to be released, as he feels that it will show that he's innocent. And he made the statement, "It's unfortunate that my character and family name have been assassinated this past week with false claims and malicious allegations. I will be taking swift and appropriate legal action until my name is cleared, and per the advice of legal counsel will be seeking all available remedies entitled to me under the laws." Now, outside of the he said, she said, the allegations made from anonymous sources that are close to the set, all the official statements, the reason that I wanted to talk about this is that you essentially have a rape claim on a high level. And the fallout from this has been fascinating to watch, since both of these people, at least on their shows, have been viewed as villains. So there's been a lot of hate spewing at both of them. And in fact, a lot of the harassment, a lot of the negative is being thrown towards Corinne. And many are pointing to her behavior on the previous season of The Bachelor, specifically her sexual history on that show. She refers to her, quote, platinum vagine. She was constantly taking her clothes off, throwing herself at The Bachelor, get really drunk, she'd knock on The Bachelor's door late at night for a late night hookup. And so many people are saying, well, look at that. I mean, could this really happen to this girl? And so I wanted to pass this off to you because it's not just a gossip story, a celebrity story. It is a consent story and a society story. Is it right for people to come to conclusions around this story based on what Corinne or any woman has done in the past? Is it historical data? It is evidence? Or is this simply slut shaming? And I ask that question because there is a heated debate online right now. And that's where I'm going to leave it for you. I could go further into the he said, she said. A lot of it is, a lot more of it seems to be negative about Corinne. There's also a lot of anger being thrown at the producers of the show, not only because allegedly they watched something happen and they didn't do anything about it, but because this guy and this woman came together because allegedly this was a storyline for the show. It was agreed upon, but where is the line? Because obviously you want something outrageous to happen, but when do you pull back? Although to that, I've seen former cast members defending the show, saying they had never felt uncomfortable. And I also try to just share the main points of that because, I mean, we're talking about an industry that is all about lying and faking things and presenting it as reality. That right there makes me skeptical about every piece of information coming out of this story. Main point, let me know what you think. But from that, I want to share some stuff I love today in Awesome. And the first bit of awesome comes from a YouTube channel by the name of Frenchie Sunga Attack. They put out a video called Girlfriend, Boyfriend, Crazy Prank War, Death's Not Fake. And it makes fun of the definitely 100% fake girlfriend versus boyfriend channels. The two people in a relationship mess with each other and then they get back with each other, but they do it in a way where anyone without a diminished IQ is like, oh, that's 100% fake. Then we had Mark Rober making the nicest car horn ever, but also the meanest. He doles it out in a fair way, and I respect that. Then we got another cringe compilation of this year's E3. We got the full official trailer for Friends from College. It's from Nick Stoller of Neighbors for getting Sarah Marshall, get him to the Greek. Yeah, Keegan-Michael Key. I don't even need to go into the other fantastic people. I'm sold. Then we have Amazon releasing their new Dash Wand essentially for free. It's this little handheld device that you can talk to like it's an Amazon Echo, but it also, you can use it to scan barcodes. When you run out of something and you need more, boom, you scan it. It automatically puts it into your shopping cart. It also integrates with Amazon Prime Now, so you can just automatically order things. And the reason I say it's essentially free is it is a $20 device if you have Amazon Prime, free shipping, and it comes with $20 of credit, which if you are going to use the product, kind of sort of negates the original price. And as someone that hates going to the grocery store, I am a fan of this. Then we got this awesome video from Seeker I just have to share. It showcases how they're revolutionizing heart surgery with virtual reality. Granted, it's not as cool as if you had a teacher that had a magic school bus and would take you on adventures, but it definitely comes in second. And the last bit of awesome, I gotta give a shout out to some of the fantastic people on Reddit and just the people that found out about this story. There's a YouTuber by the name of Handheld Game Fan 89. He's a disabled game reviewer. He was in a bad spot among other things. His van that was wheelchair accessible, that broke. In this time of need, they created a GoFundMe with a $5,000 goal. People on Reddit found out about it, blew this thing up. And as of recording this video, it is about to pass $44,000. Seeing their reaction to this outpouring of support, it just warms my heart. And it warmed my heart to the point that, one, I just had to give props to the people that were involved here. Two, I have to pimp out the GoFundMe. I'll include a link down below. And three, it's partly because I want to support you, but also I hate numbers that aren't even. I'm donating a portion of the profit that we're gonna make from this video. So 1,055 to bring you to a nice clean 45,000 and maybe even go up from there from this push. And also here, I just wanna pass a thank you on to all you beautiful bastards that are a part of this DeFranco Nation. We couldn't do things like this if it wasn't for you. And while this is just a small piece of help for one individual in one hard time, sometimes I feel like you have to try and help just one so it makes you have faith in the whole. And if you want to see the full versions of everything I just shared, the secret links of the day, anything at all, links as always are in the description down below. And in you're gonna love it or hate it news, Facebook now allows you to GIF in comments. Nice little GIF button in the comments section. Perfect for when a distant relative or an old friend from high school posts some crazy ass shit on their Facebook timeline. Mom was a crazy Muslim lizard person, hit him with one of those. They share new video evidence shows Donald Trump molested the ghost of Anne Frank, hit him with one of those. Or do what most of you do, screenshot it and share it with everyone else you know. Then in quickie sports news that even if you don't follow sports, you can maybe appreciate. Yesterday it was confirmed that Conor McGregor and Floyd Mayweather will be fighting. It's happening August 26th. It is not a mixed martial arts fight, it is a boxing match. And the thing I've seen most coming out of this story is so many people calling Conor McGregor so stupid for taking on this fight. Conor is a mixed martial artist. He fights in the UFC and he's throwing himself into a boxing match with one of the best people in the past 2 decades. Many people pointing out there's a 99% chance he is going to lose, but here's what I say. I think Conor McGregor is going to fight his heart out, but he knows that he doesn't need to win this fight. Win or lose, and I will say it is probably lose. He is going to make between 5 to 10 times more anytime he has fought in the UFC. And if I can go a little further and assume some things, I kind of think that Conor McGregor wants to retire after this fight. He's a new father. I think that when his training partner died in a match, it made him realize even more so that this career is limited. A lot of the greats stayed in way too long, took too many shots to the head. Their quality of life is diminished. And I think as fantastic of a fighter as Conor McGregor is, he is ultimately a 10 times better hype machine. He has a long career ahead of him, but there's no reason that he needs to be taking fists and knees to the face for another 5 years. Also, it is all speculation right now, but it's believed that Conor McGregor could be making somewhere in the area, and let's consider a big range here of around $100 million. Many expecting that Floyd Mayweather might make around $200 million. Although really the size of the purse right now is just speculation. I've seen 100, 75, 150. Not too shabby for a match that really shouldn't be happening. You have a 49-0 veteran, and essentially, I mean, no offense to Conor McGregor, he is a 0-0-0. That said, I'm still probably going to put $100 on McGregor because I love the Irish, and the odds are probably going to be pretty favorable. And then we had the 2 new pieces of Donald Trump news. It was Donald Trump's birthday yesterday, and 2 notable things happened. The first bit of news is that video and audio of Australian Prime Minister Malcolm Turnbull has leaked, and in it, he is roasting Donald Trump. Trump and Turnbull, of course, have an interesting past. There were allegations that in the past on their first phone call, things got heated. It did not go well. Then in early May, when they actually met, they said everything was fantastic. And then most recently, when Turnbull was talking to a room full of journalists in what was supposed to be an off-the-record speech, he said this.
Donald and I, we are winning and winning in the polls. We are winning so much. We are winning like we have never won before. We are winning in the polls. We are. Not the fake polls. Not the fake polls. They're the ones we're not winning in. We're winning in the real polls. You know, the online polls. They are so easy to win. Did you know that? I know that. Did you know that? I kind of know that. I know that. They are so easy to win. I have this Russian guy. Believe me, it's true. It is true.
In response to the leak, Turnbull said that it was meant as a good-humored roast. As of right now, while the U.S. Embassy said that they're not concerned by the comments, we haven't received a response from Donald Trump. And the reason for that may have been because of story number 2, and that is officials are now saying that Donald Trump himself, not just his administration or people around him, Donald Trump himself is being investigated by special counsel Robert Mueller. And that is allegedly for obstruction of justice. Mueller is reportedly requesting interviews with top intelligence officials and looking into communications between them and the White House to determine if Trump put pressure on them to kill the investigation into the Trump campaign's ties to Russia. Among those named, you had Daniel Coates, the current director of national intelligence, Mike Rogers, the head of the NSA, and Rogers' recently departed deputy, Richard Legend. And in response to questionings, the NSA issued a quick statement saying that it will fully cooperate with special counsel and decline to comment any further. And a quick insight into what this might be about, there is a specific conversation that Mueller is reportedly interested in. It's a conversation that allegedly took place March 22nd between Coates and Trump. Allegedly during a briefing, Trump asked everyone everyone but Coates and CIA Director Mike Pompeo to leave the room. And allegedly, Coates told colleagues that Trump had asked him whether Coates could intervene with Comey to get the FBI to back off its focus in Flynn and its Russia probe. And those allegations are extremely concerning because Coates would then later go on to talk to the Senate Intelligence Committee and say that he never felt pressure. Also, allegedly, 2 days later, Trump called Coates and Rogers, the head of the NSA, called them separately to ask they issue statements denying the existence of any evidence of coordination between his campaign and Russia. Both refused to do so. And the possibility is that all of that times into when James Comey testified, specifically about him being fired, where he claimed, "I was fired in some way to change, or the endeavor was to change the way the Russian investigation was being conducted." And so the big question becomes, what will Coates say to Mueller? Does Donald Trump asking these things from Coates give more validity to James Comey's testimony? And so in response to all of this, Donald Trump took to his Twitter to say, they made up a phony collusion with the Russian story, found zero proof, so now they go for obstruction of justice on the phony story. Nice. You are witnessing the single greatest witch hunt in American political history, led by some very bad and conflicted people. And so from here, it'll be very interesting to see what happens. Now, I'm personally happy that there's an investigation, not because I'm hoping for the tear down of Donald Trump, but I'm a big fan of the truth and information. If things come out from the investigation, good. People need to be held accountable. If nothing does, then hopefully good. We can put a story to bed. But really, who knows what's going to happen? The investigation's going to continue. Reportedly, questions that are going to the White House around this story, they're now being redirected to Donald Trump's personal attorney. And even if evidence of obstruction of justice was found, the Department of Justice said that it would be inappropriate if they indicted a sitting president. So ultimately, the job would fall onto Congress, and with the Republicans having a majority, there's an argument of would they even? Although I personally think that if there is in fact evidence of obstruction and it is obvious, then they're going to drop Trump. Otherwise, it would be political suicide in my eyes. But guys, remember, this is the PDS. It's not just a show, it's a conversation. So if you have any thoughts on this last story, the first one, anything in between, let me know in those comments down below. And that's actually where I'm going to end today's show. And remember, if you liked this video, you like what I do on this channel, hit that like button. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button. And if you missed yesterday's Philip DeFranco show, you want to catch up, click or tap right there to watch that. If you want to see the newest behind the scenes vlog, click or tap right there. But that said, of course, as always, my name's Philip DeFranco. You've just been filled in. I love yo faces, and I'll see you tomorrow.